You're pathetic, Alexis. You always have been, Marcus said with a smirk as he signed the last paper, taking all of our father's fortune for himself. I sat across from him at Dad's big wooden desk, keeping my face calm even though I was boiling inside. My name is Alexis Shin, and I'm watching my brother steal my inheritance right in front of me. Marcus didn't think he was stealing. He believed he deserved everything. Dad's favorite, the perfect son, the one who could do no wrong. At least that's what he thought. Just sign here, the lawyer said, pushing a paper toward me. He looked uneasy, like he didn't understand why I wasn't fighting back. Why was I letting Marcus take everything our father had worked for? I picked up the pen. It felt strangely light, even though this signature would change everything. Are you sure, Alexis? The lawyer asked. Once you sign, Marcus gets everything, the house, the money, the business. Marcus rolled his eyes. Of course, she's sure. She never did anything useful anyway. While I worked with Dad, she just played around with her little art projects. This is only fair. I thought about my last conversation with Dad 3 days before he died. He had called me to his hospital room when Marcus wasn't there. He placed a small key in my hand, his eyes clear. The safe in my study, he whispered, not the one Marcus knows about. There's another behind the lighthouse painting. Wait for the right moment, Alexis. You'll know when. I hadn't opened it yet, but now I understood. You're right, Marcus, I said, signing my name smoothly. Take it all. The money, the house, the company. You deserve it. Marcus grinned as the lawyer collected the papers. I could almost hear him counting his new fortune, millions of dollars, the family estate, and a company worth hundreds of millions more. I want you out of the house by tomorrow, he said, fixing his expensive suit. I'll be nice and give you until noon. I nodded and walked toward the door, but before leaving, I turned back. Congratulations, Marcus. I hope it makes you happy. He was already on his phone, probably bragging to his friends. He didn't even look up. That night, I waited until the house was silent. Marcus had gone out to celebrate, likely drinking expensive champagne. The staff had left. I was alone in the huge house I had lived in my whole life. I walked to Dad's study, my footsteps soft on the thick carpet. The painting of the lighthouse had been there forever. As a child, I used to imagine stories about the lighthouse keeper saving lost ships. Now, I lifted it off the wall, revealing a small safe. With shaking hands, I inserted the key Dad had given me. It turned easily, and the door opened with a soft click. Inside was a thick envelope and a USB drive. On the envelope, in Dad's neat handwriting, were the words, "For Alexis, when the time is right." I took both and carefully put the painting back. In my room, I opened my laptop and plugged in the USB drive. My breath caught. There were files, hundreds of them. Bank records, emails, photos, proof that Marcus had been stealing from Dad for years, hidden accounts, illegal deals, fraud. But that wasn't the biggest shock. I opened the envelope next, my hands trembling. Dad had known everything. He had secretly built another company completely separate from Chin Industries, and it was even more valuable than the one Marcus had just taken. And he had left it all to me. I leaned back, letting out a slow breath. Marcus had spent his whole life calling me a failure, making fun of me, thinking he was the only one who mattered. But Dad had seen the truth. He had made his real choice long ago. My phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. Don't forget, out by noon tomorrow. And don't try taking anything valuable. I'll know. I smiled, thinking about the documents and USB drive hidden safely in my bag. Don't worry, I typed back. I'm taking exactly what Dad wanted me to have. Let Marcus enjoy his so-called victory, for now. He thought he had won. He thought he had everything. But in a few weeks, when the financial reports came in and auditors started asking questions, he would realize the truth about his crimes, about Dad's real plans, and about me, the sister he always underestimated. I packed a small bag, just clothes, some pictures, and my laptop. Nothing else mattered. Tomorrow Marcus would wake up thinking he owned it all. But Dad's real fortune, the company he built in secret, was already being moved into accounts only I could access. I took one last look at my childhood room. I remembered every time Marcus had made me feel small, worthless, like I didn't belong. Dad had seen everything, and in the end he made sure I got justice. Goodbye, Marcus, I whispered. Enjoy it while you can. The next morning, I walked out of the estate without looking back. Marcus was already gone, probably rushing to his new office, eager to show off his power. He didn't even watch me leave. To him, I was just another problem he had erased. I checked into a small hotel downtown, the kind of place Marcus would never step into. It felt strange, having just one suitcase after a lifetime of luxury, but I didn't mind. Everything I needed was in my laptop and the papers from Dad's safe. My phone kept buzzing. Messages from family, friends, and business partners, everyone shocked that I had given up my inheritance. I ignored them all, except for one call. Alexis Chin, a sharp professional voice said, "This is Diana Walsh from Cooper and Walsh. Your father arranged for me to contact you exactly 1 week after the transfer." I sat up straighter. Cooper and Walsh, one of the most powerful law firms in the country, the same firm Dad had used to build his secret company. "Yes, Ms. Walsh," I said. "I've been expecting your call." "Your father left clear instructions," she continued. "Phoenix Enterprises is now fully under your control. But before we proceed, he also left you a letter. I'm supposed to read it to you. Are you in a private place?" I moved to the small desk by the window and opened my notebook. "I am now," I said. Diana cleared her throat and began reading. "My dearest Alexis, if Diana is reading this, then everything has happened exactly as I predicted. Your brother's greed has finally taken over, and he believes he has won." Tears stung my eyes. Even now, Dad was still guiding me. "I built Chin Industries from nothing." Diana kept reading, and I listened, ready to take back what was truly mine. But somewhere along the way, I lost sight of what really mattered. I spoiled Marcus, gave him everything he wanted, and never taught him the value of hard work or honesty. By the time I realized my mistake, it was too late. He had already started stealing from the company, thinking I didn't know. My grip tightened around the phone as Diana kept reading. "But you, Alexis, you were different. While Marcus demanded everything, you asked for nothing. When he took credit for others' work, you quietly succeeded on your own. Your art, which he mocked so much, showed me that you understood something he never will. True value isn't in money, it's in what you create." Dad's letter continued. "Phoenix Enterprises is more than just a company. It's the kind of business I should have built from the start. Honest investments, ethical practices, partnerships with artists and creators. A company that makes the world better, not just richer. And you, my daughter, are the only one I trust to run it." Diana paused, letting the words sink in. "There's more," she said. "Your father left detailed instructions for when Marcus's crimes are exposed. Do you want me to continue?" I wiped away the tears I hadn't realized were falling. "Yes," I said firmly. "Tell me everything." For the next hour, Diana explained Dad's plan. It was simple but brilliant. Marcus had been stealing from Chin Industries for years, and all of it had been carefully documented. In 3 weeks, when the quarterly audit took place, everything would come out. The company would face an investigation. Marcus would face criminal charges. But Dad had planned for that too. Phoenix Enterprises was ready to step in and save Chin Industries from collapse, protecting its employees and legacy, and I would be the one to do it. "Your father wanted you to have time to prepare," Diana said. "To set up your new office, meet key partners, and understand Phoenix before everything becomes public. Are you ready for that?" I looked out the hotel window at the city skyline, picturing Marcus in Dad's old office, thinking he had won. "More than ready," I said. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of meetings and planning. Diana introduced me to Phoenix's leadership team, people Dad had chosen for their honesty and vision. I toured the company's headquarters, a modern building across town from Chin Industries. It wasn't just offices, it had art galleries, creative spaces, and open work areas. Phoenix was everything Chin Industries wasn't. Where the old company was dark wood and rigid traditions, Phoenix was innovation and light. Dad had built it with me in mind, seeing my vision even when I didn't know he had. Marcus only called me once. Probably drunk. "Hey, little sister," he slurred in my voicemail. "Hope you're not living on the streets. Maybe if you apologize, I'll lend you some money. Can't have you embarrassing the family name, right?" I saved the message. It would be interesting to play it back to him later, when everything changed. The day before the audit, I sat in my office at Phoenix, reviewing the final pieces of evidence. The scale of Marcus's crimes was shocking. Millions stolen through fake contracts, bribes to hide his tracks, years of theft from Dad's company. And tomorrow he would finally face the truth. Diana walked in with more papers. The auditors have everything they need, she said. By this time tomorrow, your brother's world will fall apart. Are you sure you want to be there when it happens? I thought about all the times Marcus had insulted me, laughed at me, and acted like I didn't matter. Oh yes, I said, standing up and smoothing my dress. I wouldn't miss it for anything. I picked up my phone and called Marcus. He answered on the fourth ring, sounding annoyed. What do you want, Alexis? I just wanted to let you know I'll be visiting Chin Industries tomorrow, I said casually, around 2:00 p.m. when the auditors arrive. There was a pause, then a nervous laugh. Why? Coming to beg for your inheritance back? It's too late for that. No, Marcus, I said calmly. I'm coming to take back what's mine. And this time, I'm doing it the right way. I hung up before he could reply, picturing him sitting in Dad's office, starting to panic. Tomorrow would change everything. And this time, I was ready. Dad had taught me one last lesson: justice takes time. And the best victories come from honesty, not greed. The next day, I arrived at Chin Industries right at 2:00 p.m. The lobby was busy. Men and women in suits moved quickly through security, carrying briefcases. The audit had begun. Marcus was waiting for me near the elevators. He was trying to act relaxed, but I could see the tension in his shoulders. What's this about, Alexis? He asked in a low voice. What are you trying to do? I smiled, the same calm smile he had given me when he took everything. Let's talk in your office, I said, making sure to emphasize the word your. No need to make a scene. The elevator ride to the top floor was silent. Marcus kept checking his phone, probably getting messages about the auditors finding problems. By the time we reached Dad's old office, now cold and impersonal, Marcus was sweating. All right, he snapped, closing the door. What do you want? Money? Is that it? Name your price, and let's end this game. I walked to the window, looking out over the city. I had stood here with Dad so many times. It's funny, I said without turning around. You stole from this company for years. Did you ever wonder if Dad knew? Silence. When I turned, Marcus looked pale. What did you say? He whispered. I took out my phone and played a video. Security footage from this very office, showing Marcus sneaking in late at night, moving money into secret accounts. Dad knew everything, I said. Every theft, every bribe, every lie. He recorded it all. Marcus's eyes widened in panic. Then he lunged for the phone. I stepped back, keeping my phone out of Marcus's reach. That's just a copy, I said calmly. The real evidence is already with the auditors. Dad collected years of proof against you. They should be looking at it right about. My phone buzzed. A text from Diana. Right on time. Marcus dropped into Dad's chair, his face pale. His perfect world was falling apart. You're lying, he muttered, but his voice shook. Dad would never. Dad gave me a choice, I interrupted. I could have exposed you right after he died, but he and I both knew it was better to let you take everything first. To let your greed show itself. Suddenly, there was noise outside. Through the glass walls, we saw security escorting auditors toward us. 2 police officers followed. Mr. Chen, one of the auditors called. We need to speak with you immediately about some serious financial issues. Marcus's face twisted in anger. He jumped up, knocking over a pile of papers. You planned this, he growled. You're ruining everything I built. No, Marcus, I said, shaking my head. You ruined it yourself, every time you stole from Dad. Every time you chose greed over honesty. I'm just here to clean up your mess. The door opened and the group walked in. One officer stepped forward, already pulling out handcuffs. Marcus Chen, we have a warrant for your arrest on charges of embezzlement, fraud, and tax evasion. As they read him his rights, Marcus stared at me, torn between anger and disbelief. You're nothing, he spat. You'll destroy this company. You're just an artist pretending to be a businesswoman. I smiled. Actually, about that. Diana stepped into the room, holding a thick folder. She placed it on the desk. Phoenix Enterprises, she announced, has made a bid to take over Chin Industries, keeping jobs safe and making sure the company survives this transition. Marcus's eyes widened as he finally understood. Phoenix? That's not possible. I've never even heard of them. That's because Dad built it in secret, I said quietly. For me. And while you were busy stealing from him, you never even noticed. Now, Marcus, I'm going to take everything you thought you won and turn it into something better. The officers led him away. I sat down in Dad's chair, my chair now, and looked out at the city. The next few months wouldn't be easy. I had to merge two companies, regain trust, and rebuild what Marcus had broken. But I was ready. My phone buzzed again. A message from Diana. Your father would be proud. I thought about the painting of the lighthouse still hanging in Dad's study. He always said it reminded him that even in the worst storms, there was always a light guiding the way. Now I understood. Dad had been my lighthouse all along, helping me find my way while letting me figure things out on my own. Marcus believed money was power, but Dad had taught me the real secret to success: honesty, patience, and the courage to do what's right, even when it takes time. News of Marcus's arrest and my takeover of the company spread fast. Some people called it justice, others called it revenge, but I knew the truth. It was Dad's final lesson, a lesson about what truly matters. 1 year later, I stood on stage at the Business Awards, accepting the award for Most Innovative Company of the Year. Phoenix Chin Industries, as it was now called, had become a leader in ethical business, helping artists and creators while still growing strong. Marcus, meanwhile, watched from prison, serving 10 years for his crimes. He still sent letters sometimes, some begging for help, others full of anger. I kept them all in a folder labeled Lessons Learned. The lighthouse painting now hangs in my office at Phoenix Chin Industries. Every time I look at it, I remember what Dad once told me. Wait until the time is right, Alexis. You'll know when. He was right. I did know. And now, looking at everything I had built from the ruins of Marcus's greed, I understood something else. The best revenge isn't taking everything from someone who wronged you. It's proving that they never took anything from you at all. Because in the end, Dad didn't just leave me a company or money or justice. He left me the greatest gift of all, the strength to survive any storm, and the wisdom to become my own lighthouse when the waters got rough.